Hey, it's Elizabeth Brown, the Kitchen Vixen. Welcome to my cozy little kitchen. I'm a registered dietitian and a certified holistic chef. So in honor of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, instead of doing the challenge like everyone else, and I think it's a great cause, but what I want to focus on, like I do with all of my recipes, is prevention of disease, because there is a chance that we can prevent ALS. Now I know some people, 10% of the population, have a genetic mutation that puts them at risk. The other 90% that do get ALS, it may be preventable. There is a defect in that similar enzyme system that uses copper and zinc. So I figure if we get more copper and zinc, or adequate copper and zinc in our diet from nuts and seeds and leafy greens and even a little animal protein, we could help strengthen that antioxidant system. Aside from that, they found in research looking at like 1 million people who had a lower risk of ALS, they found that those people ate more beta-carotene rich foods, which we think of carrots and sweet potatoes and winter squash, and of course leafy greens like spinach and kale. And they also found that those same people ate more foods that were rich in lutein, which are kind of in that same group, but basically we focus on leafy greens: spinach, kale, collard greens, mustard greens, I think I hit most of them. Oh, dandelion greens, most of your dark leafy greens, and even greens like parsley and cilantro, which I'm really big on. I always have lots of fresh herbs in my fridge because I make a lot of slaws, and I thought it would be great to teach you a slaw, but I want to focus on just the greens, so next time I'll teach you that great slaw that I always make. And aside from that, they also showed that people that had lower risk of ALS ate foods rich in vitamin E, and those are actually a little bit harder to get in the diet, especially when people are a little too fat conscious, because those foods come from fats. So we think of almonds, but the best source is actually sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, and mixed nuts, and even your oils. So I'm going to show you how to make a great salad dressing that's going to help dress those wonderful greens that we need to get more of, while also incorporating those nuts that we need for those vitamins and minerals and protein. If you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you really have to make sure you get adequate protein from those plant sources. So it's a very simple recipe, and you know, when I'm working, and I work in rehab hospitals, which are basically nursing homes, where we see people that have ALS and we see them at the end of their lives, and it's actually really sad. As a dietitian, I'm usually the one that has to calculate their tube feeding, because some of them can't eat in the end, and so it's a very sad disease. And you know, if you saw the end of it, you would understand. And I wanted to do this recipe also in honor of my friend June, who I know from Vegas. I was living there, and at the time I met her and her husband Les, who was a pharmacist, and he was diagnosed with ALS. And then they used to come here to Santa Monica as he was being treated at UCLA. He did some experimental treatment, and he did fight ALS for 7 years, and he's such a great, awesome, brilliant man. And June is a wonderful woman. So this recipe is in honor of my friend June Young. And so to make the dressing, we're just doing 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. It depends how much garlic you like. And I'm going to put it in my blender. And then it's really simple. So that was the only work you really have to do, is chop up that garlic. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Mustard is an emulsifier, but also adds great flavor. So it's going to help blend the oil and vinegar and water that we're using for the base of our recipe. And of course, a nice little like 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. So I buy my pepper and whole peppercorns and grind it in my coffee grinder, which is really my spice grinder, because I don't grind coffee. Then we're using a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. That's where you also get some of that vitamin E from your oils, because vitamin E protects our cells. It also protects the oils. It protects the fatty areas of the body and of your oils. So that's why it's so essential in nuts. It's protecting the nuts. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water. So, you know, even though a lot of people, when they make dressings, they do like, I think 2 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. And because I like to cut the oil a little bit, I'll do a 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup, 1/4 cup. So I have a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, which to me is like the predominant flavor. That's what really makes it. That and the mustard and the garlic. The oil just, you know, makes it a little more savory. And actually the fat from the oil and from the nuts and seeds helps with the absorption of those carotenoids that you need. So it's another reason to make sure you get adequate fat in your diet, because it helps you absorb those nutrients that are protective, the lutein and the beta-carotene. That's it. You just blend it, and then aside from the leafy greens, I did mention that you get beta-carotene from your carrots. And I always have carrots in my fridge, and if you want to learn more about why I keep carrots in my fridge, please be sure to watch my video. It's a little extensive, but it's all about what I keep in my fridge and why, because I have a really scientific rationale as to why I choose certain foods. I mean, a lot of times it is cost, but then with the money that I have to spend on food, what am I going to buy? What's the best nutritious bang for my food buck? Now, I have a food processor, as you may have seen in some of my other videos, but when you hand grate carrots, you get a great workout for your arms. Okay, so we'll put 1 carrot. This is my serving for the day because after I'm done shooting this video, I'm off to work. I seem to do better shooting these videos when I got other things to do. I like to crunch a lot of things into one time. All right, and then, so we have our shredded carrot. Looks pretty in the blue bowl. We're gonna add a cup of spinach, and if you'd like, you can cut your spinach up to make it easier to eat. So when you're at work, like me, and you're trying to just eat your meal and then get back to work, you wanna make it convenient for yourself. So I do like to chop my spinach so it's easier to eat. So I'm adding a cup of spinach for those wonderful, more beta-carotene and other carotenoids as well. Even though spinach and kale those are green vegetables, so we don't really see those carotenoids that we're used to seeing, because carotenoids really give an array of color to all of the foods that contain carotenoids. So there's beta-carotene, there's zeaxanthin, there's lutein. I'm not sure is a carotenoid. It's in the same family. I don't know if it's considered a carotenoid, but they all provide different colors. Zeaxanthin, I can't remember all the names, but they all provide a variety of colors that help absorb light from different areas, so they have different protective benefits, and they help the plant grow and thrive. So there we have our kale, and I also had chopped up the kale because, you know, kale's a really rough vegetable, so it makes it easier to eat if it's nicely chopped. And then also, sometimes I'll even put the dressing on right away because that kale is so hearty. If it gets coated with dressing, again, it's easier to eat. And then I have my tablespoon of sunflower seeds for all those wonderful vitamin E, but we also get zinc, we get copper. So remember, the zinc and copper are essential for that antioxidant system that's in our body. It's called superoxide dismutase, which I've mentioned before, but there are actually 3 different types of superoxide dismutase. One is manganese dependent. That one's found in the mitochondria, in the powerhouse of our cells. And the zinc-copper superoxide dismutase protects the interior of all of our cells. So it's so essential that we get that zinc and copper in our diet to make our enzyme system work better and hopefully prevent any type of defects which have been associated with ALS. So that's the goal here, is to prevent ALS. So I chop up my nuts, and the one thing I like about using mixed nuts, of course I'm going to get some almonds in here. I'm going to get some hazelnuts. Those are some of those good sources of vitamin E. But I'm also getting Brazil nuts, and I haven't done an article. I mean, I've done an article, but I haven't done a video on this yet. But I think a lot of people are aware that Brazil nuts are the best source of selenium, and selenium is a very powerful antioxidant. So get that in your diet. Eat a Brazil nut. 1 Brazil nut per day, like, exceed your needs. It's amazing. Okay, so that's it. So I put that all. This is my salad for today. Oh, I also added half a cup of garbanzo beans. So if you haven't seen my garbanzo bean spiel, I've got tons of videos on garbanzo beans because I think they're very versatile. You can make cookies out of them. You can put them in a smoothie. You can put them in a salad. They add a nice texture. I love all beans. All beans are great. All beans have different antioxidants and fiber and protein, and you know, and actually when you combine the nuts and seeds with the beans, so the nuts and seeds with the legume together, they make a complete protein. Again, very important for people if you're following a vegetarian or vegan diet. I don't eat a lot of animal products. Eggs maybe every day, and my yogurt and cottage cheese I'll eat about every other day. And then other than that, I only eat animal protein, like, anyway, I don't eat red meat more than once a month, and I eat fish about 2 or 3 times a week. So anyway, you want to get good protein in your diet, so that's one way to do it. So like I said, I'm just going to dress this salad just because it'll help the kale absorb some of the oil, which makes it nicer to eat. And I'll probably be eating lunch in about 2 hours. So if it's gonna be a while until you eat your meal, then you might want to put the dressing on the side. So that's great. That's my great lunch, and I'm gonna put it in my glass lock container to take it to work with me. But before I go, I thought I would share with you a little rap that I've done all about why I think it's so important to eat a diet that will prevent ALS. And when people ask you, why are you eating that? You got to say something like this to them. You say, first things first, I'm the healthiest. Eat this and let your whole body feel it, because we prevent disease with the things we eat. And I could teach you how to eat like I'm saving your life. If you want to be healthy like this, drop that soda pop and pick up a salad like this. A quarter cup of oil, quarter cup of balsamic, 2 cloves of garlic, and a little black pepper. Now put it in your blender and use it to top salad greens with a little shredded carrot plus garbanzo beans, sunflower seeds, and mixed nuts. You do it all because I'm so healthy. You don't even know I put greens in my smoothie, sauce, and eggs. Oh, I'm so healthy. Can't you see my glow? I feel so vibrant, and my diet makes it so. Eat your veggies. They are the things that will fight disease. Eat your veggies, and when somebody offers you greens, say please. What's that? What's that? K-A-L-E. What's that? What's that? S-P-I-N-A-C-H. What's that? What's that? P-A-R-S-L-E-Y. I'm so healthy, and my diet makes it so.